He's made the top 10 every season since 2011. He's had a down year offensively, but the defense is still there. That player is one of the top players in baseball at one point, Buster Posey of the San Francisco Giants. Posey stays on the Shredder's top 10. Again, he's been on that list every single year going back to 2011, and 6 times he was number 1 in the game. He did slip badly at the plate last year. He had a .375 career on base going into the season, and it was only .320 last year. Posey had hip surgery in 2018 and was just not the same, hitting just 7 home runs last year. He played in only 114 games last season, dealing with a number of injuries. Here's a look at the decline. In 2017, certainly not his best season. He had nearly a 5-win year, but with a weighted runs created plus of 128. It was down to 85 last year, a career low. The upside, defensive runs saved, shooting up to plus 14 last year. That's quite good, because Posey, obviously one of the, if not like the dominant catcher over the last decade.
Absolutely.
Does this ranking make sense to you now at this point?
It does, because he's in my top 10 as well. The thing about Buster Posey, if you go back 5 years, he was one of the top players in the game of baseball. You talk about being in a defensive position where it is so important at catcher and all the offense. But because of the injuries, we have seen the decline in his offense. But defensively, 14 runs defensive save last year was 3rd best in baseball. Again, for me, as a catcher, defense is a prominent thing that you have to have. He still brings that to the table.
Yeah, and it's weird because we emphasize this because he has such a reputation of being a great offensive catcher, which is a fact. He's an all-time great, really, and doing all that hitting in a tough park to hit in. So you have to do the park adjustments. But for me, the 2nd year in a row of that decline, age 33 season, I think he's right on the border. You know, it looks like the slide is there. Now, a bounce-back season, it's possible of a player of this caliber.
Yes.
But it's tough for me to get into the top 10.
I think last year, coming off that hip surgery, that was the biggest impact for him offensively. And I think you mentioned bounce-back season. I'm expecting a big bounce-back year offensively from both Buster Posey in 2020.
Okay, and you see the processed numbers, the strikeout percentage, walk percentage here, not good, not going in the right direction. But again, even his bad year 2 years ago is still above league average, and comparatively is not all that bad. We're just comparing him to his greatness earlier in his career.